Want to make a cup of coffee that makes your guests sound like this?
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Today, I'm showing you how to make coffee using a Hario V60. Let's make some coffee. Start out by bringing some fresh, clean water to a boil. While that's happening, let's go prepare some of the rest of the stuff. The recipe we're using today is 24 grams of coffee to 360 grams of water. Start out by measuring out the 24 grams of coffee beforehand. I'm using whole bean coffee and grinding it right before because I found that it's fresher and tastes better. If you don't have a grinder at home and your coffee is already ground, that's totally fine, but I highly recommend getting a hand grinder like this one that I got off of Amazon for 20 bucks. Now that everything's ready, grab your filter, crease the edges, and put it into the V60. You'll notice that this one doesn't quite fit, and that's because I bought the wrong filters. But still works fine, I guess. Now that the water is done, take it and pour the hot water over the paper filter. This accomplishes two things. It gets rid of any papery taste that may come through, and it also heats up your equipment. Super nice. Remember to pour the hot water out of the carafe. You don't want to forget this. Now, set the scale to 0 by pressing the tare button and pour in your 24 grams of coffee. When you do this, be sure to shake the bed a little bit to level it out. This just makes sure all of the coffee is going to be thoroughly saturated when you start pouring in the water. Make sure your scale is set to 0 and you have your timer ready. This next part is called the bloom, and it's very, very important. It's basically when CO2 gases are being released from the coffee and water is taking its place. So it's essentially starting the extraction method. So what you're going to do is pour 50 grams of water and wait 30 seconds. At 30 seconds, you're going to pour another 50 grams of water, bringing the total to 100. Wait another 30 seconds. Now, at 1 minute, pour 120 grams of water, bringing the total to 220. One thing I want to point out here is notice how I'm pouring. I'm pouring in a slow spiral motion, which is doing two things. One, it's making sure all of the coffee is evenly saturated, but it's also acting as like a small stir, a very small motion that's getting them moving and disturbing the coffee grounds. Now, at 1.5 minutes, you're going to be pouring another 120 grams, bringing the total to a final 340 grams. This should be good for one single cup of coffee.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen.
Now, take any hot water that's left, pour it in the mug to preheat it, making sure that you're not pouring really hot coffee into a lukewarm or even cold mug. Now that the coffee is done, you can take off the V60 and dispose of the grounds, and then swirl the carafe around a little bit just to aerate the coffee, pour it, and then enjoy. And that's how you brew a perfect cup of coffee using a V60 right at home. Thank you so much for watching. This is Alec from Silverwings Coffee, and I'll talk to you later.